Are you using an Intel Arrow Lake CPU and notice that the core power limit exceeded status shows up in HWiNFO64? There is a fix for that. I just discovered moments ago. It appears that there is an issue in HWiNFO64 if you are using an Arrow Lake CPU and your power limit is set too close to your actual power consumption. I have a Core Ultra 7 265K and have undervolted my system by 60 millivolts, and I have overclocked my setup. After making these changes, the CPU package power consumption in the Cinebench 2024 full multi-core test ranges from just under 200 watts, and I think the highest value I saw it go was up to 207 watts in the 30-minute test. As my system is undervolted, my values will likely be different than yours if you are also using an Intel Core Ultra 7 265K. To show this, I am setting the BIOS PL1 and PL2 values to 220, which is more than I need to run Cinebench 2024 on my undervolted 265K. When I have these values set, HWiNFO64 incorrectly states that the PL1 and PL2 values are being reached, but in actual fact, the CPU is pulling a bit under 220 watts, so there should be no PL1 or PL2 limit reached. It appears that if the PL1 and PL2 is set too close to the actual CPU package power, then the PL1 and PL2 power limit will be reached. When I had the CPU set to the default of 250 for PL1 and PL2, the limit would be reached after running Cinebench 2024 after several minutes. I have found that I had to raise the PL1 and PL2 even further for it to stop hitting the PL1 limit in HWiNFO64 when running the Cinebench 2024 multi-core test. To test this, I set the PL1 and PL2 each to 500. After doing this and running Cinebench 2024, it no longer gave the core power limit exceeded reason. If you have a 285K, I think that a PL1 and PL2 of 500 should also be enough to get rid of the core power limit exceeded status in HWiNFO64. Do not worry about power consumption. Your CPU will not use 500 watts if you simply increase the PL1 and PL2 to 500. It will still be in a similar range as before. Even when I set a PL1 and PL2 of 500, my 265K consumed the same amount of power as it did when the PL1 and PL2 was set at the default of 250. I found that my benchmark scores were the same as well, so this was something I ignored since it does not affect performance as long as your PL1 and PL2 are set to values that exceed the CPU package power consumption. But if you want to get rid of that status in HWiNFO64, increasing the PL1 and PL2 till it goes away seems to be the way to go. Thanks for watching.